I like to work with artists from around the world. There are so many new inspiring filmmakers. I imagine I will be less involved in film and be focused more on family and foreign affairs. The fact is I am not having sex. But I feel absolutely ripe for what would you say? Plucking? I loved being Maleficent. I was quite sad to put my staff down and put my horns away because somehow, she just lives in a different world. I always felt caged, closed in, like I was punching at things that weren't there. I always had too much energy for the room I was in. I love great journalism. I appreciate it. I love a good, I love good news stories. I love great books. I love great articles. I appreciate them so much, and they've been part of my education as a woman. I like someone who is a little crazy but coming from a good place. I think scars are sexy because it means you made a mistake that led to a mess. I never woke up and thought, I really want to live a bold life. Women have a certain sexuality, and I think their bodies are beautiful, and I'm not embarrassed to explore that in a film. But there are things you get offered that are vulgar and violent, just like there's a side of me that's vulgar and violent. Honestly, I like everything, boyish girls, girlish boys, the heavy and the skinny. I'm not somebody that thinks about destiny and fate, but I don't walk away from it when something unfolds. Therapy? I don't need that. The roles that I choose are my therapy. I am deeply grateful to the citizens of Sarajevo and the Sarajevo Canton Assembly for bestowing upon me this incredible honor of citizenship. I am so proud to now be a part of such an extraordinary part of the world and fellow citizen to the people I deeply love and admire. Breast cancer alone kills some 458,000 people each year, according to the World Health Organization, mainly in low and middle-income countries. It has got to be a priority to ensure that more women can access gene testing and life-saving preventive treatment, whatever their means and background, wherever they live. If there is even one woman out there who went and got checked and found that she had cancer or she was positive and she caught something in time, and if in any small way I was a part of that, it makes me very emotional. People wonder aloud about whether I am an okay mother. That is obviously painful because it's so important to me. It's hard to hear that people think I'm not a capable mother and a good person, that they just think I'm nuts. There are many things I do where the center of it is. It's almost more my humanitarian work than art. I don't like perfumes that are too strong or sweet. I like a fragrance that is earthy and sensual and can be worn at any time. I want to support other women because of the opportunities I've had, and I've had a lot of opportunities. What I try as a female director is to do the best job I can and, in the meantime, bring attention to as many other female directors and writers as I can. I love to put on lotion. Sometimes I'll watch TV and go into a lotion trance for an hour. I try to find brands that don't taste bad in case anyone wants to taste me. I'm odd looking. Sometimes I think I look like a funny Muppet. My mother fought cancer for almost a decade and died at 56. She held out long enough to meet the first of her grandchildren and to hold them in her arms. But my other children will never have the chance to know her and experience how loving and gracious she was. The side of fairy tales I don't like is that they always have happy endings, that there's just good and evil, and things are perfect. But life is a little more complicated, and that's what I try to teach my kids. I grew up with my career being thrust upon me. It took me a long time to believe that I could do more than that one aspect of our business. For me, there have been times when an action movie, even a Tomb Raider, has helped me get out of myself and be physical again. It's like therapy. I never felt settled or calm. You can't really commit to life when you feel that. I'm always doing something. I never shut my brain off. I always have something going on. Acting helped me as I was growing up. It helped me learn about myself, helped me travel, helped me understand life, express myself, all those wonderful things. So I'm very, very grateful. It's a fun job. It's a luxury. I've told Billy if I ever caught him cheating, I wouldn't kill him because I love his children and they need a dad. But I would beat him up. I know where all of his sports injuries are. Cancer is still a word that strikes fear into people's hearts, producing a deep sense of powerlessness. But today it is possible to find out through a blood test whether you are highly susceptible to breast and ovarian cancer, and then take action. The boys know they are from Southeast Asia, and they have their food and their music and their friends, and they have a pride particular to them. I cannot sit still. I didn't really want to live, so anything that was an investment in time made me angry, but also I just felt sad. When the hopelessness is hurting you, it's the fixtures and fittings that finish you off. The moment you have a child, in an instant your life is not for you, and your life is completely, 100% dedicated to another human being, and they will always come first. It changes you forever. It changes your perspective, and it gives you a nice purpose and focus. My mother was a very natural woman. She never spoiled herself, never wore makeup, and wore modest jewelry, but she always had a few special items for when she wanted to feel like a lady. One of those special items, and I remember it because it seemed so elegant, was her Guerlain powder. I'm not somebody that just wants to hold up a white flag and say, let's all just get along. I think people that do horrible things should be held accountable. I have much more support than most women around this world, and I have the financial means to have a home and help with care and food. I think it's very important to cry in the shower and not in front of them. They need to know that everything's going to be all right, even when you're not sure it is. The great thing about having a bunch of kids is they just remind you that you're the person who takes them to go poop. There's nothing I have to hide or defend. I'm gonna live my life. And there are times when people want to try to attack me, and I don't know why, but they will. And that's okay. I think if you make a good movie, people walk away arguing. She would have thrived as a grandmother. I know how much she would have contributed to their lives, and I am sad they will miss out on that. I'm a woman, and anytime you tell a woman that she looks nice, it's not going to upset her. I like to hide behind the characters I play. Despite the public perception, I am a very private person who has a hard time with the fame thing. I like everything. Boyish girls, girlish boys, the heavy and the skinny. Which is a problem when I'm walking down the street. I don't believe in guilt, I believe in living on impulse as long as you never intentionally hurt another person. And don't judge people in your life. I think you should live completely free. If anything, I get most upset because I want to read a good paper first thing in the morning. And if I see a lie about myself flash across the front of the cover, I don't think much of the rest of the newspaper. You just don't know when you get in the editing room what you will need as a link or a tool for a transition. If you're in a room, and there's a kettle boiling, get a shot of it. Don't worry if people think you're nuts. The American people are bigger than any president. I suppose I have faith in my country and in what it is founded on and the values we hold dear. When I was growing up, I wanted to adopt, because I was aware there were kids that didn't have parents. I think I should learn French and be a better cook, basic, really good life stuff. I've learned that we all change constantly. It's rare to find that person who is growing with you in the same way at the same time, who encourages you to grow. If you have enough people sitting around telling you you're wonderful, then you start believing you're fabulous, then someone tells you you stink and you believe that too. Sometimes I try to just sit at home and do something calmer and simpler and just be in my life. You know, not trying to solve a lot of things at once. We think it's fun for our kids to have cameos and join us on set, but not to be actors. That's not our goal for Brad and me at all. I think we would both prefer that they didn't become actors. Something I learned as an actor was which scenes needed to be rehearsed and which actors are good with rehearsal, which actors learn from it, and which ones grow stale because they start to second-guess themselves. I'm in a rare position where I don't have to do job after job. I can take time when my family needs it. I'd like to believe that the people that have supported me in my work or identified with me in films, the people that feel they know me, they do and they don't have misconceptions, they understand. I believe that. I prefer directing to acting. There is huge freedom that comes from being behind the camera. It brings a lot of responsibilities as well, but is intensely rewarding. I'm just wanting to make the proper breakfast and keep the house. That's my passion. At the request of my kids, I'm taking cooking classes. As I go to sleep at night, I think, did I do a great job as a mom, or was that an average day?